Hey, what's up everybody? Landon with LMR.com. In this video, we're taking a look at 5.0 Resto's trunk, latch, striker, and hardware kit designed for the 1979 to 1993 Coupe and Convertible Mustangs. I think it's obvious why you would want this latch and hardware kit because you're probably missing yours, or if you're doing a restoration on the car and you're trying to chase as many new parts as you can. The 5.0 Resto striker is a reproduction of the original, so factory dimensions and tolerances. The striker is zinc coated and it features all the correct bends and the correct diameter. That way your latch can secure correctly to the striker. We're also going to give you a retaining plate in the kit as well. This is zinc coated, has the 2 bolt holes, has all the correct bends as well. That way when your bolts come through, this properly retains the striker to the back side of the trunk area here. And then lastly, we're going to give you 2 factory style bolts. It has the dog point on the end. It's the correct length, has the floating washer, and that's a 7/16 wrenching size. Today we're working on our 1987 Convertible GT. I think it's got something like 87,000 original miles, something like that. Don't quote me. Anyways, lower mile car, doesn't need a whole lot. Once you see us take this old crusty one off and you put the new shiny one on, going back to the validity and going back to the mindset of replacing parts in terms of freshness, there is some value there. We're going to be taking one off and putting a new one on. If for some reason you're watching this video and you do not have yours, a good starting point for the striker is going to be pulling it all the way till it stops, bottoms out on the bolt. You may just want to go drop it down about another 1/4 inch, just so your latch can correctly latch onto the striker. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull these loose real quick. If you wanted to micromanage this, you could remove your rear trunk liner. It's real easy to do. It's just held in place with push pins. Just be careful with these because if you move them the wrong direction, they'll crack, and you don't want that because it happens to a lot of these rear panels. If you don't want to go through all the legwork of marking where the original striker is, you can just take this off. Do your best to align the new striker up with kind of your existing marks and just tighten down your new hardware. So we'll go ahead and break this hardware loose and pull this one off. Okay. Now if you wanted to, you can wipe up that area just like we always do. Since this is metal on metal contact, you'll still have some existing marks to go off of, so don't think you're gonna rub or wipe away where the mark is. So you can kind of see where those existing marks are. Now those aren't really telling you kind of an upwards or a downwards position. All you'll need to do is situate the new striker, followed by the retaining plate, and kind of just hold that in place with your hand. And then because this nut plate is kind of free floating here in the trunk, you'll just kind of have to walk it up into position until you can start threading one of the bolts in place just to hold it there. Okay, then we can start the other one. Just run these down by hand first. That's all the way up. And of course you can go all the way down with it, but I can tell you that's wrong. Good starting point is you see the bend here on the passenger side, how it's positioned shorter than the one on the driver's side. I'm gonna go to where this bottoms out against the retaining plate. I think that's gonna be a good starting point for us. Want to snug these down, you don't have to go super tight. Just before we test for operation, we got the old crusty here and the nice new one with the zinc coating. Okay, before you close the trunk, make sure you have the key and make sure it operates. Obviously, if you're in this position, you probably have already opened it, but for those of you that don't have this, verify that your key physically works and it opens the latch, because I have seen too many times where people just assume that they have the right key or the right lock cylinder, or name your scenario. They go to close this and they've got a nightmare on their hands. So make sure your key operates before closing your trunk. So now we can go ahead and test it. And we don't have any type of engagement at all on the latch. So we'll need to adjust it some. And all you do there is just loosen the bolts and then move the striker accordingly. So we're gonna come up a little bit more and then retighten. You'll kind of do the tango until you know your latch correctly grabs the striker, and I almost left the keys in the trunk. Don't do that. No bueno. So we need to go a little bit higher. Money. Gently lift up on it. We've got good engagement. You just want to test it a second time. Go for it. Yeah, we're good to go. All right, folks, so that's gonna wrap things up. Like I said, we had a simple one for you today. I know a lot of us appreciate, no matter how big or small the part is, seeing something come off and go back on. We all find value in stuff like that. So if you appreciate this one, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications. That way you're notified every time we release something new. And then till we see you in the next one, y'all know what to do for all things Fox Body. Keep it right here with the real enthusiasts, LMR.com.